Welcome to datascience.show, the podcast where data science meets executive leadership. We talk with top AI and analytics thought leaders about turning data into real business impact. If you're a C-level leader or data expert shaping the future, you're in the right place.
A machine learning model that improved accuracy by 12% cost this bank $3 million in lost revenue before anyone realized it wasn't changing customer behavior. I'm Mirko Peters. Today, I'll show you how that mistake gets prevented.
I'm your host, Mirko Peters. We explore how data science and AI drive real business impact, straight from the leaders making it happen. Quick promise. By the end of this conversation, you'll have a short, executive-ready playbook for requiring causal evidence, practical measurement tiers you can adopt, and 2 immediate actions to change funding decisions this quarter.
Let me set the scene with a composite case study. A chief data officer at a large retail finance company. They manage analytics for tens of millions of customers and a technology budget in the low tens of millions.
The team built a personalization model that looked great on offline metrics. But after a limited rollout, revenue didn't move. Why? Because the model improved a proxy, the score, without changing the downstream action that produces value. That's a measurement failure, not a modeling failure.
So what should an executive ask first? 2 simple questions. Which business outcome must change? And how will we measure exposure to the intervention? If you can't answer both crisply, don't scale.
Carry 3 frameworks in your head. Number 1, randomized controlled trials, the gold standard for internal validity. Number 2, stepped rollouts. Phase the treatment by region or cohort when immediate randomized assignment isn't practical. Number 3, quasi-experiments, regression discontinuity, or instrumental variables when you can't randomize at all. Useful, but assumptions matter. Each trades off speed, rollout complexity, and statistical certainty. Pick the right tool for the decision you need to make.
Back to the CDO, they insisted on an A/B test comparing model-driven offers to business as usual, and they tied the primary metric to net incremental revenue and cost to serve. That changed the project from does the model predict to does the model deliver dollars.
Design choices matter. Sample size, test horizon, and lockdown primary metrics are not academic details. They decide whether the result is actionable or noise.
Here's a rule of thumb I use. Size a quick pilot to detect a 1 to 2% revenue lift. For many mid-size retail experiments, that maps to roughly 15 to 25K customers per arm. If you're lower volume, extend the horizon rather than shrinking the effect you aim to detect. The CDO's compromise was tiered. A 6-week randomized pilot for fast signal, sized to detect 0.1% lift, about 20K per arm. Then a pre-registered 12-week confirmatory test before scale. And a hard funding rule. Don't commit more than $2 million of annualized scale budget until level 2 passes. Curious, you might ask, what does pass mean? Simple. A pre-specified minimum incremental revenue or ROI threshold tied to the business case. For the CDO, it was 1 million annualized incremental revenue attributable to the treatment, with confidence intervals that made the estimate defensible.
Let's talk about heterogeneous treatment effects. This is where money shows up. In that personalization test, the top 20% of customers produced roughly $1.2 million of the total lift. Lower segments showed minimal change. The right decision was selective scale. Target high-value cohorts rather than uniform rollout.
Meaningful instrumentation is non-negotiable. Tag exposure. Record downstream business actions and keep an immutable event log. If you can't prove who saw what and when, you can't prove impact. Organizationally, this is cross-functional work. Product, engineering, and analytics share ownership. Executive responsibilities are simple. Require a pre-registered hypothesis, a primary metric, an experiment window, and escalation rules for inconclusive or negative results. Create a lightweight review board to sign off on experiment design. Make results digestible. Point estimate, confidence interval,
and an executive read. We estimate X dollars incremental revenue with Y confidence. If the result is borderline, replicate before you scale.
Watch these traps: metric substitution, optimizing a proxy that doesn't map to value, interference, treatments leaking into control, survivorship bias, only reporting wins. Do a pre-mortem for each experiment. List how measurement could fail and how you'll detect it in real time. You don't need full-scale experiment platforms on day one. Start with lightweight gating. Standardize a measurement checklist, require an exposure log, and enforce a funding gate tied to a level 2 pilot. Over time, invest in platforms that make randomization and instrumentation routine. 2 concrete actions you can require this quarter. First, mandate a written measurement plan for every new AI initiative. 1 page, primary business metric, proposed design, and a sample size or horizon estimate.
Second, make scale funding conditional. Any initiative requesting above a set threshold, for many firms that's $1 to $2 million annualized, must clear a level 2 pre-registered pilot. That single governance move changes behavior fast. The CDO's reflection was revealing. Once causal evidence became non-negotiable, pipelines got cleaner, product prioritized instrumentation, and procurement asked better questions. The ROI wasn't just experiments, it was better decision-making. That's the difference between models and value. If this episode helped you, subscribe and share it with your leadership team. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Mirko Peters. We'll be back with more conversations on how data science and AI create real business impact. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to datascience.show. If you found value in this episode, subscribe, share it with your network, and join us next time as we explore how data science drives smarter decisions and better business outcomes.